partner. We just actually met yesterday, but I enjoyed his product and his story, which you'll hear about here soon. And so it will very soon be for sale in Skooma. You can come get a very local product, but I'll save the details for our friend Stuart.
Yeah, when the show starts. J-Dubs, let's make sure that's going to Gina's Facebook page. Do you see it streaming there?
Yeah, get them all going.
All right, fantastic. We want to make sure Gina's friends see her in action. We'll start the show in a matter of moments, and with Stuart's page as well. Judah, that would mean the world to me, please, sir. And let us know when we're ready to rock and roll. Give the show a like and a share. Ooh, I see it on Stuart's right now. If you want to give props to Stuart the entrepreneur, Stuart the partner, the businessman, and the grower, please put it in the feed. If you want to give props to the beautiful and talented Gina, please put it in the feed. She just had her business cards done.
Yes.
They were fabulous.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Designed them myself.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Artist and a businesswoman.
Yes.
Very, very nice. Give the show a like and a share on whatever Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcast platform you're listening on, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. We'll get cracking here in about T-minus 10 seconds. Our friends at NBC 29, I see watching the program. They did a fabulous interview with you. CVille Weekly did a fabulous interview with you. And many of them are watching as we speak. Judah, we can rock and roll when you're ready.
Quiet on sense.
Good Friday afternoon, guys. My name is Jerry Miller, and welcome to the I Love CVille show. Thank you kindly for joining us on a glorious Friday to be above the mud. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille network. Today's show is about an hour and change of entrepreneurship, business, folks willing to take a risk to better their lives, vision, and how their family has supported them through these efforts. Guys, we're going to introduce you to three fabulous business people on the I Love CVille show. Their businesses, while unique in their own selves, have crossed paths with each other, and we'll identify that synergy on the I Love CVille show. We thank Ting, Crazy Fast Internet, for powering the I Love CVille network. Truly the best internet out there. Our good buddy Scott Wagner, chiropractic and sports medicine, part of the show as well. So Judah Wickhauer is our director. Judah, let's do something a little different to start. Why don't we start with the one shot on me and then go to the two shot with my friend David and I. David, you're on screen now.
Hello.
¿Qué pasa?
What's up, Jerry?
How are you?
Doing really well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's great to have you. You have a panel of entrepreneurs that we're about to introduce. Before we get to Gina and Stuart, how about an update on Skooma Boutique Dispensary on the downtown mall?
Everything is going really well there. Everyone that's come to our doors really feels our positive local vibe, and all with the idea of our customers and being local or being comfortable. And we do that by providing local things, which you'll soon hear about.
It is a fantastic dispensary. It's boutique, it's approachable, it's educational, it's priced fairly. Certificates of analyses on everything in the store. If you want to know the background on what you're digesting, what you're smoking, Skooma can offer that, no doubt, David.
Right, yeah.
How about an introduction to who you brought with you?
Okay, across the table is Gina Sacco, who is a Charlottesville native, and if you come into Skooma on the downtown mall, right on the corner of 3rd and downtown mall, you will see her art on the walls, and it really gives a good vibe to the space. So come see it or follow her so you can see it as she makes it. It's really great. And then Stuart Drury, we're so happy. There's a story behind that I'll get to later, but he's Woodridge Farms, and he will be one of our local vendors. So
I love it. Stuart Drury in the house and Gina Sacco. Ladies first, of course. So Gina, you are in the hot seat now. Before we talk your brand, How about an introduction for everybody that's watching to Gina and what you're all about?
All right, I'm Gina, and like David said, I'm a native from Charlottesville. I transplanted to Richmond and am pretty much finding myself in Charlottesville more than I'm in Richmond lately. So yeah, I crossed paths with David through a friend on Facebook, and that's kind of how we started our professional business relationship. And I'm just really excited for everything that's evolving. So
I'm excited as well. I went into SCUMA 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I saw her art on the wall. It was dynamite.
thank you.
I mean, you are fabulously talented.
Thank you.
And it definitely adds a level of energy to SCUMA, where you see the best CBD out there, the best D8 THC out there, and her art as well. Now, this gentleman defines the word entrepreneur. He's formed a strategic partnership with our friend Barry Wood. I'm going to get out of your way here. Before I hear about the partnership, how about, Stuart, an introduction to your hobbies, interests, and what you're all about?
Oh, certainly. Let's see. Born in Martinsville, Virginia. First introduced to Charlottesville in undergrad. Went to UVA for undergrad, and of
too.
course just fell in love with the place, as a lot of folks do. And then after maybe a decade of wandering and trying different things, I've been back about 4 or 5 years now. Barry and I linked up maybe 2 years ago, and then it's just been steady progress ever since. It's just been fantastic.
Cool. So tell us about the partnership with Barry and Woodridge Farm Brewery.
Certainly. So of course, if you've been out to Woodridge Farm, you'll know that the claim to fame there is that it's truly farm to table. All the beer ingredients from the barley and hops and what have you, it's grown within an eye shot of the dining area. Likewise with the food menu items, the cattle is raised there, bok choy, lettuce, tomato, that sort of thing. It truly is farm to table. So Barry and I wanted to do the same thing with hemp and CBD, and so we do. We can keep track of the process. We manage the process from seed germination through sustainable agricultural practices, harvesting, of course the oil extraction that I'm in charge of, quality assurance, on to actually handcrafting the products, and then teaming up with interesting, solid folks like these here.
Gina, we're going to get you in the mix, guys. And if you want to give Gina or Stuart some props, just put it in the feed of any social media platform you're watching upon. Our friend Joanna Breslin is watching the program
Awesome.
right here.
Hey, Joanna.
From JoJo's Apothecary. What's up, JoJo? We love you on the I Love Seville show. Tell us about your business, Gina.
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, I have to give most of the props to my father, Jamie Sacco, who many are familiar with. He owned Snooki's Pawn Shop. He started that here on the downtown mall. And one day he wanted me to just try out this art. We're both very artistic. So I gave it a whack at it and just kind of kept, up with it, and found myself literally maybe doing 5 pieces at a time a day. Got the courage up to put it on my Facebook, and people liked it, which was super surprising, and just kind of turned from a hobby into my passion, and now it's my business. So
That's awesome.
It is. It's amazing.
Why is it super surprising? Your art is damn good.
I think we're our harshest critics.
Well said.
So, yeah, and I'm a perfectionist. So
So,
a perfectionist doing abstract art is extremely hard.
I was going to say, are those almost like oxymorons? Or
Yeah, yep. My life is an oxymoron.
Is it?
Yeah.
Your friend Meg O'Mara watching the program, giving
Hey,
you some
Meg.
props. She's watching, I believe, in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yep.
Chad Wood says, "Good luck, David."
Chad.
So SCUMA Boutique Dispensary next to Rapture on the Mall. Why partner with Gina and Stuart? What'd you like about it?
So, you'll always hear me saying I'm local, born and raised in Charlottesville. Myself, my wife Kirsty, our 2 kids, all born at UVA. So it's really cool. We have an opportunity to or at least, this is the opportunity I saw, and my idea of it keeps changing. But the one we're currently at is, I really, really think it's the one that's molded to naturally, and it's having like a local, just a local shop that you can come to that's all local vendors, but in a retail establishment. So you can experience hemp from counties, Albemarle, Nelson. The idea is to get everything as local as possible. Yeah. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Vertical integration seems to be the word of choice here. Certainly before the show, you're doing that at Woodridge Farm. You're doing it with your business. You've made a great partnership here with SCUMA. What did you like about SCUMA and your brand being featured at SCUMA?
Oh, certainly. As David said, featuring local outfits. That's what I love about this area, that local folks support local endeavors. And so hence all of us teaming up and working together in different ways. And because hemp and CBD and soon to be marijuana, it's so new in Virginia, it feels more cooperative as opposed to competitive. Everybody's working together to sort of give each other a boost. Hence the three of us working together. We're also teaming up with a local apiary, beehives, to do some CBD-infused honey, a local goat farm to do goat's milk soap. And it's the idea of encouraging the entire community is the idea. And so I very much enjoy that, especially about SCUMA.
I love it. So Greg Torodi is giving you some props. He says, Stuart, you're the man, brother. You're the man.
Go on, Pickle.
Joanne says, so proud of you, Gina. Your art is absolutely fabulous, Gina.
Thank you.
So let's talk Charlottesville. Born and raised.
Yeah.
You're born and raised as well. I've been here since 2000, so not nearly as long as you guys here. Charlottesville, then and now, how it's changing. Anywhere you want to go, Gina.
So I can remember Fridays after 5, there was no stage. And
It was on the other side of the mall, right?
I know, yeah. And every time I come back to Charlottesville, which is, like I said, frequent, I mean, it's changed drastically. It's great for Charlottesville, but it's crazy. It blows my mind every time I come here.
You like the change?
I embrace change. I don't love it, but, whatever's best for the community, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lisa Kilham giving you some props here.
Right.
This question's coming in from Charleston. Jerry, can you ask your artist guest the inspiration behind her art and who has influenced her?
Okay.
Thank you, Grace.
Inspiration? Let's see. Really, my dad is the one who inspired me. He sent me a link and told me to try it. My dad's super artistic. My mom is too. So I did it, and I guess my inspiration is my feelings. It started off as just almost like a therapeutic activity, and I just kind of go in. I do it in my house. My landlord hopefully isn't watching, and however I'm feeling, it just kind of comes out, and yeah.
This one's coming in for you, David. I think it's Bison. Bison wants to know how's SCUMA doing, and if you caught any resistance from Charlottesville at all.
No, everything has been overwhelmingly positive. It's such a great feeling having everyone come in the doors and just be genuinely happy, and then we can educate and. But what we're finding is it's like the education is a two-way street, because we're getting people from multi-generational and from all different backs of life, or backgrounds, and it's so good hearing their stories, and everyone just feels comfortable sharing that and saying how they got their plants going, and or visitors that they're from a state where they have dispensaries, and this one's really nice, and those things are that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Is those, just the input from our community, and it's been all positive. So
this one's coming in for you.
Bison.
First, your beautiful wife, Kirsty's watching.
Hey, babe.
She says, "I'm so proud of you, Babe-a-roo." Dude, you guys have such a beautiful relationship.
Yeah.
You guys are very much in love. I love it.
Yeah, dude.
Stuart, a question coming in for you. What are we thinking is the future of cannabis retail from the grower's perspective? It's a good question.
I would like to know that myself. I imagine they'll do what they've done with the hemp cultivation. They'll issue permits, I would think, just thinking out loud, but they have to have some sort of bureaucratic structure, of course. And So I imagine, of course, they'll be doing permits for the actual dispensaries, and I imagine you'll have to have some sort of permit or license in order to grow. There'll be oversight. The cannabis committee, is that what it's called? The oversight?
Cannabis Control Board.
There it is,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, I imagine there'll be a great deal of paperwork, but there always is. But it's progress, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Joanna Bresnan, yay, David, I'm so honored to be able to be in your store. You're absolutely crushing it. When your vendors and partners...
Wait, Joanna, I forgot. We sold out of Love Rollers, so we need more.
We need more! Can you re-up?
I forgot to tell her that.
So
You're good. Yeah.
when your vendors are actively on social media saying, David, we love being in Skooma. David, we love partnering with you. David, we enjoy being a part of what you're doing. What's that mean to you?
It's pretty awesome. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What are you feeling?
Well, I mean, it's like, so I think if you just are, I don't consider it strategic, but I consider it, I mean, you just triage like what's important to you in business. And I think as long as it's not money is on the top of that list, then it'll be okay because everything else will work out. So like I've said before, like quality is the top, that's the first thing we go for is quality. If it doesn't pass the sniff test, then it doesn't, COAs, if it's not good, we won't stock it. The next is like sustainability from like a local perspective, and then also like if we can continue a long partnership. What I tell all my vendors, I've probably told even Gina, who's not really in the space, I probably told her just anyway because I've been telling everyone, we're going to grow together, which is kind of like
That's awesome. That's what
Yeah.
you want to hear, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, Dylan Shinholzer is giving you some props here.
Hey.
You guys have 4 states watching, and a question for Gina. How can we buy your art? And if you can follow up more on your artistic influences, I would love to know.
So right now you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. Also on my business page, there's a WhatsApp number. You can just shoot me a message. I have an Etsy store, but I have not really found success on there as much as social media, which is surprising. So just feel free. I'm very personable, so shoot me a message and we can talk pricing. And what was the second question?
The influences again. I think people are going to your Facebook page now.
Okay,
seeing
really?
your art,
Yeah.
and know the influences because it's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the influences artist-wise, I don't really have any, but my dad really inspired me to paint, and I think.
So I was gonna say to give background, and he was also very supportive.
Oh, yeah, he
there.
helped.
He was there hanging it.
Yeah, he took over.
It was
He
really
was
cool.
hanging in your store?
Yeah.
And I think you could see it, him doing it. He was so, it was really cool seeing, because I have a daughter, so I can't wait for that day. Well, I already have the pride for it, but you could see the pride he had hanging up your art for you. It was so cool. It was
He's
cool.
so cool. My dad is super cool. Like I said, he's an artist too. His art is amazing. He refuses to sell it. But yeah, I guess a lot of my pieces are space inspired. So, like the names of them are all space terms. So if you look at the names of them, you'll see that.
Cool. Stuart,
Yeah.
we have a question coming in for you, which we'll get to in a matter of moments. Daniela has a question for Gina.
Okay.
And said, how did Snooki's Pawn Shop influence you to become a businesswoman? Great question.
Okay, so this is so funny and it's also embarrassing. So I've always, my dad is an entrepreneur, my mom is an entrepreneur, so I was born into a family of entrepreneurship. In the 3rd grade, no one will let me ever live this down. I asked my mom if I could have her jewelry that she didn't want anymore. And she gave me like all this old costume jewelry, and I put on like a really nice like Easter dress and like walked up and down my neighborhood streets selling my mom's jewelry door to door.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so I've been a hustler since elementary school. So thanks, parents. Yeah, I mean, and growing up in a pawn shop, literally spent every summer in the basement. So I kind of realized, I need to be my own boss. I don't like rules, so.
Neither do I. I like this person over here. For Stuart, this is for a good question for you. Can you tell us how the partnership with Barry came about? We love the beer there. We love shelling peanuts and throwing them on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And the farm is perfect for families. Tell us about the partnership.
Sure, families and pets. Yeah, that place is very, very unique. So it was about a year and a half ago, the beginning of last year. It was January. He was interested. I had done one season of growing hemp. It was a moderate success, but it's a learning process. And then he was interested in someone leasing some acreage on the brewery property. And Wood Ridge, so it literally sits up on a ridge, amazing, majestic views of the mountains around. And so if you come down off of the ridge, it comes into some bottomland. The border of the property is the Rockfish River. And bottomland is known for being really rich and loamy and sandy. It wicks water down and holds it. It's perfect. It's ideal for any kind of cultivation, but particularly hemp. And then better yet, there's a little cabin down there. And once I saw all of that, I was sold. And then better yet, he introduced, once he learned that I actually process it, I actually can make the oil, we just did a bunch of planning together was the idea, because he can obviously provide quite a bit, the land, the machinery, decades of cultivation experience. He's really impressive, one of the hardest working men I've ever met in my life. And then it just grew from there. He gave me a chance, basically. And just over the last year and a half, now we've got about 1,500 plants growing. They still have about 3 weeks of grow time. They're already about 6 feet tall, 5-6 foot diameter. They look like giant bushes. It's amazing. But easily it'll probably yield about 1 pound per plant. And
That's big time.
Yeah.
thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Dave, you got something on your mind over there?
No, I was admiring and picturing and. So the story is, we actually, Stuart and I met yesterday. He came in and with the same enthusiasm you just saw and heard, pitched me on, because it's a whole variety, well, I'll let him get to that, but a whole variety of products that are all completely sourced in Nelson County, Virginia. So it's really, really cool. And I don't think I let him finish. I was like, yeah, I want to get
Sounds like
stuff
you.
in here, like, like, okay, please, So, yeah, and you'll hear why and you'll see why the products, it's really good. And you just come into Skooma and you'll see it in the glass cabinet.
Kenny Gilbert giving you some props. Marquetta Vesthiller.
Marquita. Yeah, she is no longer in Charlottesville. She needs to move back.
Where's she watching?
She's in New York. She's my best friend.
She's watching the program
Yeah,
right now.
hey.
5 states watching you guys here.
Awesome.
So I'm going to throw this. What does your day-to-day look like working at Woodridge? Like, get up, get to work, finish. Give us the flip book.
That about sums it up. It's so like I said, the little cabin is, I can walk 20 paces outside of my door straight into the hemp field, and so that's my morning. Go walk the rows. It covers about 3 acres, so it's time consuming, and you can imagine what all work that entails. There's quite a bit of pest management, application of herbicides and pesticides, all USDA certified organic, of course. Weeding, looking out for different blights and mildew and rot. It's maintenance. And then up the hill to the lab processing facilities to get the extraction machinery up and running for the day. Because once it's up and running, it sort of does its thing, and then I'm back down to the field. So it's like that all day long, just back and forth. And then and it's also assembling products, meeting with folks like these. It makes for a full day. It makes for a full week, but it's all very much worth it.
Carol Nunes
Sure.
says, "Way to go, Stuart." She's watching right now. Allie says, "A real farmer right there." Allie Shuddy,
All right.
talking
All
about
right.
you.
Fantastic.
So this one's for Gina here. So Gina, give us the flip book of creating a piece of art like you do. I mean, you are so talented. Where do you get the, how long it takes?
Yeah.
Everything that goes into it.
Okay, so I guess the last piece I did took about 2 hours. I go through like phases where I do a lot of art, and then I'll take like maybe a week or two where I just don't do anything. So that was the last 2 weeks. So I just did a piece, and it took about 2 hours to do it. I just pick random colors, and they happen to really mesh well together. I have, like I said, this set up in my spare bedroom. I've been, kind of collecting things for my studio. It's a huge, like 42 by 42 inch, bottom of a dog crate, one of those, the black inserts.
Sure.
That's what I paint on. So yeah, I just kind of go in there, and my dogs are in the living room and I'm in my art room, and just totally zoned out and sitting on the floor just making art.
On Twitter,
Yeah.
this comment, you've talked about change in Charlottesville. Has it changed for the better, Gina?
I think first, some change has been for the better, but, there are some things that I see that, I don't think it's for the better. I'm not going to be specific. So, there's good and there's bad,
Yeah?
in my opinion.
What do
Yeah.
you think? This is a good question for you. Born and raised here, David. Where were you? Was it off High Street? Tell me where you were born and raised.
Off Rye Road.
Off Rye Road.
Agnes Street.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
where the Christmas lights are, and everyone used to dump their kids for trick-or-treating.
Right there.
Yeah.
Has it changed for the better?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, talk to me about that. Why do you think it's changed for the better?
I think all change is good, it's just a matter of how you perceive it. So I think, there's a couple of things that have, of course, like the Landmark Hotel, of course, that, that's pretty much bad all the way around. But most things I think you can find good in, and that, including Charlottesville and the change of the last 20 years, I love it. This is my hometown. So it's cool having a spot on the downtown mall. The same mall used to be like a little hooligan on.
Yeah. We used to run the streets here when I was younger. Our parents would just literally drop us off like it was no big deal. Today, I don't think that's even a thing. But
No, right
every
on
Friday, my parents would drop us off in like middle school, high school, and it was me and like 7 or 8 of my girlfriends, and we would literally just like wreak havoc on the downtown mall, like up to no good.
And now? Has it changed?
No, not really.
Gina, I'm going to throw this to you. You're going to like this. This is from Rebecca Bushi.
That's my mom, Bushy. Yeah. Hey, Mom.
Gina, you've worked hard to get your artwork recognized. Finally, around Mom here. I love you so much. That's your mom
She's
right there.
amazing.
Where's she watching? In town?
Gordonsville.
Gordonsville in
yeah.
the house. Dude, Gordonsville's blowing up.
I know. Have
Right?
you been to Champion
Ice House? I have.
The chicken is
Off the chain.
It's like out of this world.
It is-
I
it
told
is-
my mom, like, she took me there, and I was like, this chicken literally changed my life. Like,
It is really that good, guys. So,
So
Allie,
good.
Allie's given him props, been using Woodridge CBD for 6 months now, so helpful from sore muscles to meditation practice. Great product. Greg says, Stuart, I've got to get back to work, but I'm super proud of you, and I knew you always had a drive, man. Super stoked for everyone up there. And Stuart, keep on, keep it on. Gerber, inside joke.
Oh,
right there.
Lord. All right, we'll leave that alone.
Well,
Thank you,
leave that
Greg.
alone.
Thank you very much.
Why do you think Charlottesville and Central Virginia are so primed for success with what you do?
I think it goes back to, so as far as cultivation, turns out Central Virginia, this area, is just the conditions are perfect. The soil conditions are stellar, sun exposure, relative humidity, it's all just perfect for cultivation. So on the cultivation side, it's perfect for that, but then it goes back to sort of the community support, that everybody's sort of cooperative effort, that sort of thing. And so, as David said, money is not the priority, it's the notion of trying to sort of lift everyone up. It sounds a little hokey, but it's true. So that's what's got me excited.
How about the open-minded, mindset of this area? I feel like we're often first to market with willing to try stuff. You look at beers and breweries and vineyards and wineries and cideries, the restaurant scene's blowing up, as you know. We're willing, and I think I know it's likely the influence of the university, we're willing to embrace kind of like this cosmopolitan mindset and this very charming and intimate community. Where do you want to go with that?
That's a good description. It's that's why I love this place so much. It's an interesting mix of sort of a sleepy southern town, but still liberal, progressive leanings, with the intellectuals associated with UVA. So, I mean, that makes a hell of a mix for just that, for open-mindedness and tolerance and willingness to try new things. And that's why just very excited to have met you two, and over the next few years, I just cannot wait to see how it unfolds.
Please.
I was going to say, I thought of a term, I guess, that will, it can't, again, like everything else at SCUMA, will continue to mend. Things that we talked about on the first, there's things that are completely different because we just take input from our vendors, input from our customers, and input from our experiences there and tweak it. And one of the things we're like you said, the local vendor scene is like, at SCUMA you can come, it's like a local bazaar for the cannabis industry. It's like all these people have been working hard, kind of like under the radar in growing hemp or there's I mean, every single one of our vendors there has been busting their butt, and now here's the chance to, like, the local bazaar. You come and see, the cannabis community, and
SCUMA is the epicenter of everything positive, approachable, and educational
Yeah,
in
thank you.
CBD and in cannabis.
Thank you.
I mean, you walk into head shops, and I'm not going to name any, and sometimes you almost feel like an outlier, like the folks working in the shop are too cool for school, and you like go in there, and if you're wearing like a button-down Brooks Brothers, you're immediately judged. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're immediately like, they're like reading you like the book by its cover. But with you, you're like, that's not the case. I mean, you come out, your energy is captivating. That's the first thing I think someone's going to notice when they see David at SCUMA, is he has 1,000 miles an hour worth of energy at any given day.
Yep.
all the time.
Yep.
Right?
No matter what time of day.
It's like this. I know. Which
I'm
is
trying
all day.
I'm trying to conceal it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I find it, I want to be in your orbit.
Dude,
But
yeah.
the thing I want to highlight the most about what you're doing is it's approachable. Like, you can come in here and you're giving education to people.
Yeah.
It's not just about like closing a deal or selling something. It's about empowering the consumer. Anywhere you want to go with that.
Well, we always say, like, so we have people that do come in and they're like, I'm completely new. I don't smoke or anything. And then
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, like,
Right?
it's always been, this like dark subject you don't want to talk about, but luckily with our new legislation, it's now out in the open and people are curious. So you come in and we always like to ask, are you looking for more feeling good for the body? Or are you looking for more euphoric head rush effects, getting high? And depending on which route they want to go, CBD is a great starting point if you want to, have a good soft introduction into the hemp plant. And there's 2 different forms of it you can take depending on your, again, preference level and what you're looking to do. And then from there's tons of products you can take. So depending on just the method of application, if you want it internally or topically or in a spa product, or if you want to get, the euphoric effects of the THC.
Yeah, you want to melt in your couch.
D8, well,
Sometimes you want to do that and watch a movie.
well, so
What's wrong with that?
that's the thing.
Yeah. Or get to bed a little early. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we have THC D8, and what that is it's like diet weed or marijuana light. It's like Delta 9, which is the item you cannot sell in a retail establishment nationwide under federal law. As long it cannot have more than 0.3% THC. Well, THC D8, there's no federal mandates on it, so you can. It's classified as hemp under the 2018 Farm Act bill. So we sell it, and it does give you a high. It does feel good. It's a little bit like lower key. It's just more chill. Takes the edge off. You're not going to be like couch locked.
I'm going to straight up say this.
Yeah.
I remember going into Roots Rock Reggae on the corner.
Great place.
It is a great place.
Yep.
Oh, amazing.
Early in my time in Charleston. And Lloyd and his son, great
Seth.
spot.
Seth, yeah.
Okay, Seth.
Yeah.
Okay, great spot.
Yeah.
I felt welcome. I'm not knocking, but I feel really welcome at SCUMA. And where I'm going with this is, from then, 20 years ago, Stuart, to now, the fact that we're on a talk show here with thousands of people watching here talking about cannabis and D8 and CBD on air openly on social media.
It's pretty awesome.
I mean, have we thought about that?
It's progress.
cool.
for
Yeah,
sure.
progress. Why don't you start, and then Gina, you follow up.
Okay.
What do you make of this?
I'm very
about
pleased,
time, right?
very pleased with
Yeah.
it, of course.
Yeah.
And of course, and you may have heard, Nelson County has a rich cultivation history.
You guys do.
In marijuana and whatnot, for decades now, and so weekends I'll often set up a tent there at the brewery with my wares and that sort of thing. Not so much because I have to, but just because it ends up being a lot of fun. The
Right.
brewery is a blast. And so, of course, the banners and the labels, they feature prominently what look like pot leaves. And it just brings all these old timers will come and tell me the most amazing stories about their sort of bootleg days with cultivation. And they're blown away by it. So folks in our parents' generation, they're just blown away by the fact that now the CBD and the hemp being legal, and eventually, within the next few years, the marijuana. And so, just very pleased, and we are right at the forefront of it is the idea. And so, just very pleased with all of that.
It's funny that the same, in the most respectful way, because I love to try to identify with them. Old heads like because
The OG.
the OGs that
Sure.
mad respect. Their stories that you're hearing, I'm getting to hear their stories as well, and
I believe
it's
that.
phenomenal. It's
Right.
awesome.
Right.
It's so good to hear them from all backgrounds, we're taking everything they say and everything that every customer that comes in says, and we're molding and tweaking, and it's so new. So that's our biggest intent, is like we want everyone to be comfortable. So we're gonna have this retail space. Everyone come to us, and then we'll meet your comfortability level.
You guys are doing that at SCUMA. What do you
Yeah.
think on this topic, Gina?
I think it's great. I can remember going into Roots when I was younger, and it just always feeling like I wasn't supposed to be doing this.
Well, they had so much
Well,
glass around. It was the two labs that were the most chilled labs ever.
Yeah.
They had Jerome Bakers everywhere. Jerome Baker
Yeah.
makes great glassware. And I felt very...
Like walking down those stairs, like as not a kid, because I wasn't a kid, but
Like as a teenager.
at least 18 maybe. I just felt like, oh my gosh, I loved going to Roots. It was just like so cool.
Yeah.
Once you get halfway down those stairs, like you're like, oh my gosh, this is so neat.
Lloyd has since passed, right?
Yeah. But it's, something that was so, I guess, taboo. And, it's not anymore. And I think it's really awesome. But it's crazy hearing, for example, friends' parents or my parents saying, talking about how everything's evolving and changing. I think it's great. So.
Do you see any kind of flip book or ties to cannabis and what, alcohol had to go through the Roaring 20s and Super DL spots to then being socially accepted, now to being something that masses enjoy with cannabis? I mean, any kind of connection you can make there?
I mean, I would say it's the prohibition would have been since Nixon put it on Schedule 1, right? So we've finally made it through the Schedule 1, or coming off of Schedule 1, and so now we can finally make up for lost time. The folks out west have a bit of a head start on us, maybe a decade head start, but it goes back to it's burgeoning. It's just getting started in Virginia, so it's a heck of a time to be involved.
What do we learn from out west and how they've rolled out? Pun intended.
Let's see. I mean, so to be honest, I'm not exactly sure. I do know that, of course, 10 years in, it's
exploding.
Well, so of course exploding, but then also just much more bureaucracy involved, which is fine. It has to have oversight and management, of course. But we, in this hesitate to say this, but the outfit I get my seed from out in California, Ventura Seed Company, the fellow that owns it, Akasha, an amazing guy, took all the time in the world to go over reams of data with me. And so, for instance, USDA out there, they come out and test your field once a week sometimes, just to monitor, of course, because it's recreational legal out there. They want to make sure you're not growing marijuana when you say it's hemp. And he was asking me, he's just giving me some advice, saying, just the USDA is going to come out and test. And I was telling him, I've not had anyone come out and test. We've had flyovers beginning in September. It's the beginning of the harvest season. We've had flyovers, but what am I getting at? Just that there's not as much oversight now, but I think that's a good thing because it gives people time to get infrastructure in place. And again, I hesitate to say it, but the oversight being a little bit lax gives us a little boost is the idea until it just gets completely locked down with oversight like it is in California. So, and eventually I'm sure we'll get there, but hopefully not. Hopefully not for a while.
Fred Tofu?
Tufo, yeah, family.
Massachusetts?
Yep.
Giving you some props here. So
Hey
that's
there.
6 states watching you guys on the
Awesome.
show. SCUMA and how it's setting itself up for the future, the legislation opportunities that are coming down, another pun, down the pipe. How you guys are preparing yourselves for what's ahead.
We're completely ready, and I think we stand leveraged in a pretty good position to be a good candidate for the limited.
The licenses.
Yeah, limited and fair and equitable distribution of licensees, which we're, SCUMA is definitely in favor of that it's done the right way. But I think doing it the right way, we'll get one as well, because that's the way we're doing stuff. So I think, I see it all working out that way. And then also, it's nice having good counsel to make sure that turns into a reality.
So Allie has this comment for you guys, Stuart and David. Prices out west are way cheaper because there are less states here legalized. In DC, it's twice as expensive as Colorado.
It's ridiculous. It's very expensive in DC. So DC currently has.
You have a lot to say on this here because you understand the legislation, you
Yeah.
understand what's happening.
Right, I can. Yeah. So DC right now has like this arbitrary gifting policy that you have to do is gift it. Most of the places you go there don't follow that. You just buy weed and it's cash only, and there's no regulation whatsoever. It's like the Wild West. There are some places up there that do a very good job of making sure they do things the right way, like hiring people with disabilities or setting up a gifting program that gifts artists or local food company or local food vendors or charities. But Virginia is specifically trying not to do that. They're trying to do it the fair and equitable way and have the regulation. But I think you'll see, just it being in DC, there's just absolutely, I don't understand why the pricing is like that, but the way we're set up, we're way less than DC.
What do you want to touch on this at all?
It's demand, right? They can get away with charging that much.
I guess people are just traveling from all over to get it. So
Exactly, right? And not to be disparaging of the medicinal dispensaries that exist right now.
Yeah.
But because they can only sell oils, edibles, but no flour.
Not yet.
Is that right?
Yeah, and they're extremely expensive as well.
Because those vape cartridges, half a gram, $60 to $90 or more dollars. I mean, that I don't know what they're basing that on. That's it's just, it sounds like, I don't know, not profiteering is too strong, but it just sounds wrong.
Sorry, I was lost the train of thought, but I got it back to your comment of talking to the older generation. It's awesome because what we're finding is we didn't even know this market existed, but people are really liking the THC D8 because it's about half as potent. So people of that, who are not used to, there's younger people as well, not used to the strength of weed today in the high percentages, sometimes prefer the more like even chill high than the like the slammed in the couch high. So sorry, I apologize for interrupting you, but I wanted
No apology
to.
necessary.
It's again that's something we didn't even think we'd even consider one bit. But again, from just talking with them, they're like, no, we like D8 because it does help, not be slammed when you're trying to, and not be as psychoactive and not be as paranoia and.
Some states are starting to crack down on it as far as regulation. They're realizing it does have an intoxicating effect. Do you think they'll do it in Virginia?
So no, I don't.
Question.
Yeah, I don't think so. So it does. So no, you would definitely. It's structurally almost identical to weed, marijuana. So you will get high, but it's not. Again, it's not as intense. And it doesn't last as long. And it's not as psychoactive.
Do we think? Okay, here's a question that's come up
But
on
to-
Twitter. Go ahead.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
to answer your question, I think that Virginia is doing it fair and equitable, trying to do the right thing. And I don't think more like no would be, progress in this current
And
space.
given we're so close to recreational legalization
Right.
anyway, maybe they'll.
And it's kind of known as like, D8 is known as like the East Coast solution, until we can get weed in the stores.
Allie says she pays $70 for an oil cartridge. That seems pricey, Allie. Where is Allie watching?
Ours is,
DC.
Okay.
Wow.
ours
That-
is 35.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems more than
Literally
I'm paying
half.
here. So this is coming in from Ann on Twitter. Do we see it being regulated as breathalyzers regulate alcohol when people drive? That's an interesting question.
I don't know. I mean,
What do you think?
I think there's people in place that make those decisions. I'm glad I'm not one of them.
You're saying it's that challenging of a decision?
Well, no, I mean, I think that there needs to be regulation and whatever the control board comes with, I know they have the best intentions, so hopefully they just, again, do it right.
Stuart, you want to offer some thoughts?
He probably
on
has more of an opinion on
Ann's
it.
question.
Just that, because I know that the recent legislation says that, you can possess up to an ounce of marijuana.
On your person.
No legal
Yeah.
ramifications whatsoever, but the only problem, if they find it in your car, is the idea. And then they'll call it an open container. They'll
Right.
assume that you're under the influence, and they can potentially give you a DUI. And so I imagine they're working right now on some sort of, was that the question? If they'll
Yeah.
be doing some sort of breathalyzer
Yeah,
equivalent?
that's the question.
Then I imagine they're working
I would think they
steadily
were.
on it right now.
Don't you?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned in the CVO article, the CVO Weekly, about like setting the standard. So there is no standard, right? So like you can, it's kind of like this unregulated market. So we're trying to set the standard. And one of the things we're doing, to your point, is we provide these Mylar bags. And what they are is they're tamper resistant, child resistant, and smell proof. And they're just, we put all the THC products in there and then seal it up. And then that way you can transport it in like a very secure, safe, discreet manner. And, not just have it out in the open.
Nice. Very nice. Libby Chai's got a question for Gina from
Okay.
Twitter. Libby Chai watches the show in Nashville.
Awesome. I love Nashville.
Yeah, I love
Never
Nashville,
been,
too.
but it's like one place I always say I want to move there.
Nashville is so fun. So she says this, Gina, where can we buy your art
Okay.
first? It's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
Second, why did you choose to put your art in skooma? And third, you said it takes 2 hours to finish a piece of art. When do you know you are done?
Okay.
3 questions.
Yeah.
Solid,
Okay.
solid
So,
Well, we can buy it first.
yeah, you can buy it obviously in Skooma. You can find me on social media. I haven't, like I said, I have an Etsy shop, but I'm not active on it. So you can literally reach out to me personally through Facebook, Instagram, and buy it from me on social media. My Facebook business account. Why Skooma? Was that the second
Yeah, why'd you
question?
put in skooma? And then when do you know when your art is done?
Okay,
Done with a
so
piece of art.
I'll give a shout out to Sean Bracken. He is
Love Sean, the drummer.
the drummer.
Yeah.
He messaged me on Facebook and was like, I went into this place called Skooma, and I had no idea. This literally was like 2 weeks or maybe 3 weeks ago. It all happened so quick. And he said that he talked to David and was like, have you seen this girl's art? Talking about my art. And then, it was kind of, we've been together ever since. So yeah, I reached out to David, and he loved my art, and yeah, it just kind of happened, like I said, really quick. I think Saturday, David, was it, when I actually like hung up my art,
Saturday morning.
and everything just kind of exploded. And then when do I know when to stop? Sometimes never.
Is that the perfectionist?
No, so on a piece, I know when to stop, but like when I'm just, sometimes I get in the zone where I will be up until like 11, 12 o'clock, like midnight, making art before I go to bed. I'm like, I have to just do one more piece. It's almost like an addiction. But I love it. Now, how do I know when to stop with a piece? I mean, eventually you don't want to, you tilt the canvas and the paint's going to slide off. So you know when to stop.
There you go, Gina. Dr. Ortiz, a question for Stuart.
Please.
Dr. Ortiz says, Jerry, relay your crystal ball predictions that you made on past shows about cannabis and how it's going to impact Central Virginia's economy to Stuart, please. So in past shows, so I'm running for Albemarle County Board of Supervisors. And one of the reasons I'm running is to bring kind of like a small business mindset to local government, to utilize, to empower small business owners to grow, to help them grow. Because if they do, the jurisdiction wins as well. So the prediction I made on past shows was cannabis was going to have a greater impact on Central Virginia in totality than beer and wine ever has. And beer and wine are
that's good
massive
news.
industries in Central Virginia. But I think cannabis is going to supersede beer and wine, maybe beer and wine combined in Central Virginia. And a lot to unpack here. You can go anywhere you want on this topic. What are your thoughts?
Well, I tend to, just off the top of my head, I tend to agree with you. Again, I don't know what regulations will be in place as far as permits and whatnot, but if it's such that just anybody can grow and then provide a
That's why.
dispensary, then that's easy revenue. That's encouraging. Could have an extra revenue stream. And then, of course, there's the tax revenue from it, the dispensaries, employment. There's just endless benefits to it, so I tend to agree with you.
The barrier of entry to growing is much more manageable and approachable than the barrier of entry to being like, is the word vintner? Is a winemaker is it vintner? Vintner. Thank you, Judah Wickara. Or a brewmaster. I mean, thank you, Judah. What do you make of this topic? What are your thoughts
Of
how this is going to
naming of-
supersede wine and beer in Central Virginia?
I really appreciate. I like that prediction. That's the first time I've heard it, but it got me excited hearing it.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that one.
What do you think, Gina?
I hope it does.
'Cause she's a businesswoman. She does this. And then you got a question coming in about the significance of your name and where it came from. And that's coming in from Anne Marie.
Okay.
First, the question on it superseding wine and beer.
I mean, I really hope it does. I think alcohol is not a good thing. I think it's worse than, marijuana. If anything, we should have stricter laws on alcohol. And the name for my business?
Yeah. What's the significance of the name?
It's
Anne Marie.
Hey, Anne Marie.
Yeah.
I
Richer and poorer. And I
It's
like
rich-
how poorer is though.
Yeah, it's definitely play on words. When you're getting married, it's part of wedding.
You're a married lady.
I'm not married.
Okay.
Not married, guys. Single.
There you go.
Very single. My mom, I think this is where I get a lot of that creativity from my mom. She owned her own advertising business for years. So I think I get that from her. But, it's definitely just a play on words. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Guys, we're an hour in, and I want to
Awesome.
do kind of like a final word for everybody. So think
Okay.
anything you want to go, anything you want to cover, something that needs some attention. You have a couple of newspapers and a TV station watching you guys. Feeling you may be getting some follow-up coverage from the press, like you did the last time you were on. Anywhere you want to go, I would suggest you make yours skooma boutique dispensary related.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm not the best at.
You're doing a hell of a
branding.
job.
I should probably be wearing a shirt that doesn't have a stain on it and has a logo, but it's okay.
You're looking good,
I'm
dude.
I'm just glad to be in this space, and I'll make it quick. But I really like. So I used to have the used
Look
car.
at this. You're going to love this. Okay, I don't mean to interrupt you. I love Steve-O, Karen Skipper, Keith is helping me. I'm at SCUMA now.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Literally, you see it right there.
That's awesome.
I'm watching the show. She's at
Keith
SCUMA
might-
now. Keith is helping her. What do you want to say to Karen, who's in your store right now? Tell her what to buy.
Thank you for being patient. We are currently hiring, and Keith, I'm sure, is busting his butt. Thank you so much, Keith. I'm very grateful for you.
Karen Skipper.
Oh, yeah, Karen, thank you. Yeah, we can, it depends on your method of ingestion. You know, we have edibles, gummies, pre-rolls, joints, chocolates.
Love this place. Exclamation points. Literally watching at SCUMA.
Thanks, Karen.
This is the owner, Karen,
He is
of the store you are in right now. See?
Welcome, Karen. We're glad
He
you're
is
there.
wonderful.
Keith is wonderful, probably.
Yeah, that's what he's
Keith's a
talking
good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we appreciate you being in there, Karen, and yeah, whatever. If it's topical, if it's ingestion, I always tell the customers, whatever floats your boat, we've got your water. So come on down.
Whatever floats your boat, we got your water.
Love
That
it.
was really good. Karen Skipper, I suggest the D8 THC.
Oh yeah. So that if you want some effects of euphoria, we have that there. So please come see us.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you're going to go last.
Okay.
We're going to put Stuart on the spot now. Anywhere you want to go, Stuart.
I think David was speaking earlier about gratitude, being grateful, and so one of the most satisfying things I've experienced so far is when repeat customers, when folks will come back to get more of something that I've made, whether because it's sciatic pain or insomnia or fibromyalgia pain, just anything like that. Knowing that I'm producing something a natural herbal remedy that is helping alleviate someone's pain, and they come back for more, it's very, very gratifying. And then at the brewery, right now we've got about 3 acres going. They're about 6 feet tall. They're soon to get bigger. They're soon to go into the flowering stage. And so we're going to do tours. If folks that are listening are interested and they'd like to come learn about the anatomy of the plant, the growth cycle, sustainable agricultural practices, that sort of thing, just shoot us an email or a call, or better yet, come by the brewery and we'll arrange for it.
You're very much a Renaissance man. You look at this very intellectually and deep, many layers to what you do, and you want to learn every layer. I can tell. What was your past career?
Let's see.
Because you got the spoken word down.
Not as well as you, but I'll
No,
take
you
that.
really
I
do.
appreciate that. Thank you. Just a lot of time overseas, humanitarian groups in South Korea and Southeast Asia. Masters in political science. I don't know if this is answering your question or not.
Oh, it is?
And then, and I've been doing Social Security and disability law for about the past 10 years, arguing the disability claimants' hearings in front of the federal judges, that sort of thing. But just being honest, the pandemic put a crunch on that, and so luckily I've been able to devote myself full time to this endeavor. And then going back to the gratitude piece, the other
Continue
part.
to help people. You help people for years, and you
You
just
know.
keep
There
helping
it is.
people. Now it's just a different.
I swear.
That's
It
awesome, man.
sounds hokey.
That's so cool.
It sounds hokey as heck.
No,
but
it's
It
awesome.
sounds very genuine.
Well, it's the
Yeah.
idea that, true happiness will sound horrible, but true happiness, if you help other people more than you help yourself, that is satisfying and gives you peace of mind, is the idea.
Seriously.
And so just the last thing is, speaking of gratitude, I've noticed that the vast majority of the folks that I've met in this industry are just incredible, cool people.
They're
genuine
kind.
and welcoming and
Yeah.
kind. And boundless energy and that sort of thing. So anyway, I love every minute of it.
We're going to close with Gina, and before we do, Joanna says, all the single ladies, raise your hands up.
Hey.
Single ladies. Joanna, David needs a re-up. Is that what you said to her?
No, I'm married.
No, a re-up.
Well, oh yeah.
JoJo's
Oh yeah.
apothecary.
Yeah.
you-
Joanna. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's what
Sorry.
I was alluding to.
Okay, yeah.
Gina, the show's yours.
Okay, so I mean, I honestly never thought that I would even have my art in public. I thought I was always, I say this almost every day, I thought I was gonna be one of those artists who gets discovered after they die and people are cleaning out their house and find their art. So I mean, if you have a passion and you wanna put yourself out there, just do it. And it does sound hokey, like you said, just don't give up on your dreams and just keep on keeping on. Persistence is key.
David Wright says, shout out to Gina, number
Hey.
one fan here.
Hey.
David Wright, giving you props. You crushed it.
Thank you.
You crushed it. And you crushed it. Thank you for welcoming these
Thank you.
fabulous people.
Yeah,
They're
thank
pretty
you.
freaking cool, aren't
Seriously,
they?
yeah. We should do more of these.
Yeah. I got tons of them. I can name a dozen companies. They'll all come up.
I would love to do it.
My counsel from DC, bring him on. And
Let's do it.
He knows all cannabis law. So if any questions, it'd be so cool. We'll talk later.
Yeah, we should totally
Yeah.
do it, guys.
That'd be cool.
So support the vendors in the space that are local. What we want to do is keep the resources and the opportunity within the community so we can all grow and benefit together. Please do that. Support the vendors and the merchants locally in the community as opposed to getting in your car or going online out of state. SCUMA, what Stuart's doing, what Gina's doing, keep it in Central Virginia. My name is Jerry Miller, guys. This is the best of Charlottesville and Central Virginia. It's the I Love CVille show where we use long-form content to positively spotlight agents of change within our community. For Judah Wickhauer, for David, for Stuart, for Gina, I'm Jerry. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Keep it local. We'll see you on Monday at 10:15. Take care, guys. Nicely done.
That's a wrap.
Nicely
Thank
done.
you.
That's awesome.
Nicely done. That's a wrap.
Easy
Good work.
peasy. You make it
Good
easy.
work.
Nashville, that's cool.
You had a lot.